After selfish Corbyn confidence vote, McDonnell says it's May not caring for UK interests. Labour's Shadow Chancellor John McDonnell last night reiterated his party would not enter Brexit talks with the government because Theresa May is working more to satisfy extreme elements within her own party than looking after the country's interest. Mr McDonnell was appearing on ITV Peston when he staged the intervention. His comments came shortly after the Prime Minister survived a no-confidence motion in her government tabled by Labour leader Jeremy Corbyn. Following the victory, Mrs May invited Mr Corbyn and fellow opposition leaders to discuss next steps in the Brexit process. However, Mr McDonnell explained his party would not enter discussions with the government unless a no-deal Brexit option was taken off the table. The MP for Hayes and Harlington also said he believed there was currently a parliamentary majority for a permanent customs union with the EU. He told ITV Peston, "What happened is Mrs May stood up in Parliament and said she'd invite party leaders in. Jeremy responded saying we can have positive discussions if you take no deal off the table. We've got to get rid of that off the table, because it is catastrophic for our economy. It will cost us jobs. And I honestly believe there is an overwhelming majority in Parliament against a no-deal Brexit. And, again, I think the Prime Minister now seems to be working more to satisfy some elements, extreme elements, within her own party than looking after the country's interest." Mr McDonnell was reiterating what his leader Mr Corbyn said earlier on Wednesday. Mr Corbyn said in the Commons before any positive discussions could take place, the Prime Minister should rule out a no-deal Brexit. He told MPs, the government must remove clearly, once and for all, the prospect of the catastrophe of a no-deal exit from the EU and all the chaos that would come as a result of that. Mrs May survived a no-confidence vote in her government after her party's flagship policy, its withdrawal agreement for exiting the European Union, was rejected by Parliament in a historic defeat. After the defeat, Mr Corbyn argued Mrs May's zombie administration had lost the right to govern. But the Prime Minister won the confidence of the House of Commons by 325 to 306 on Wednesday despite a humiliating defeat on Tuesday night. The government now has until Monday to come up with revised Brexit plan because of an amendment tabled by former Attorney General and Tory rebel Dominic Grieve. Mrs May had hoped to invite opposition leaders to take part in the discussion, but the Labour Party have not yet agreed to engage.